This is going to be such a fun class. Let me just get my microphone hooked up here. Okay, welcome. I love this 4th of July design, and I hope that you enjoy it. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to need our strips and our glue. And I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to zoom it in here. I'm going to be doing this with 3mm strips this time. This one I did with a little wider with the 5mm strips, but I thought I would try the narrower ones, but it doesn't matter which width you use. And we're going to, first of all, we're going to make our coils. So we'll start with our center coil, and we're going to use one full strip of the red. And this paper, you can get a feel for it eventually. There's a rougher side and a smoother side. The smooth side has the little cut edges kind of coming up on each side, so you can kind of feel that. So I'm going to put the smooth side away from me. This is not a huge deal. So if you're not at the place where you're wanting to worry about it or can't see it for some reason, if you're not able to pick that up, don't worry. So I'm going to tear off the ends first, because then that gives me more fibers for the glue to attach to. So I'm putting the smooth side away from myself, and I'm going to put it in my tool like this with it against my finger. And then I'm going to roll towards myself, and you can do whatever feels comfortable to you. Some people roll towards themselves, some people do it away from themselves. So whatever works for you. And I'm holding on to it with my thumb and thumbnail, and then kind of adjusting it as I go. So you can just pull out the tool at this point if you want to, or you can keep turning it just a little bit and you can get it to break off. Then it'll be this nice little hole instead of the folded paper. So either way. And then I'm going to put this red center in the 15mm slot. And for this thinner paper, you can do it in this, but I prefer doing it in this one because it's a little bit narrower this way, and it's easier for me to pick it up out of there with my tweezers. So you can totally do it in this one, but I like to do it in this one. And I'm going to put it in my 15mm one and let it unwind here. Okay. And then I'm going to pick it up from the center and from the edge. Then I have my little damp paper towel in my bottle here, my jar for the glue. Just a little dab of glue on the end, kind of wipe it around and glue it down. So there we have our center. And when we pin it, we'll center it better. We're going to pin it in just a minute, but first of all, we're going to make the coils. Okay, so next we're going to make some blue teardrops, and we're going to use a full strip for these as well. So I'm going to tear the ends off. And going to just coil them up like we did the other one. And then I'm going to put it in the 15mm hole again. Grab it from the center and the edge. Try to grab it close to the edge where you're going to be gluing at. And we're going to make teardrops with these. So you can go ahead and just pinch it close to where you glued it right away. And then that helps glue it down too. Isn't that cute? There is one teardrop. And we're going to be doing 5 of these. Make our blue star. So tearing the ends off. Just have to take that little piece out. If you did break it off, just going to tear that, get that little piece out of there. To the 15mm hole. Beautiful. I love teardrops. They just make me happy. I know tears are not happy, but these are happy. So one thing that I started doing not too long ago is I took training and I am now a funeral celebrant. And if you don't know what that is, I will tell you. So if people don't have a pastor or someone that they have that they want to lead their funeral, then they call in a celebrant. And I talk to the family, learn about their loved one, and then put together their person's story and lead the funeral service and arrange the songs, and if anybody else wants to speak, and poems. Anyway, so I did one this morning for a 23-year-old man who was killed in a boating accident. Very tragic, very sad. But it was a beautiful service. And there were his brother and 2 other friends shared something as well, and we had some really nice slideshows with a slideshow with different music, and it was very comforting. But anyway, I'm really loving it, just being able to serve families in this way. And yeah, it's kind of a random thing. I had actually, how I got into it was I have a friend here that is a funeral planner, and she recommended me to the funeral home, and I interviewed and was put on their vendor list, took the training. So yeah, it's a really special thing to get to do, I feel like. So the name of my funeral celebrant business is Story Weaver Celebrant. So we're just doing a full strip for these blue ones once again. And putting them in the 15 millimeter slot, making teardrops. Actually, they're going to go out the other way. But you could always make a flower if you wanted to, like that. Okay, so if you've joined since I started, I'll just explain really quick what I did. So I took a full strip and did the red center, and I'm using 39 centimeter strips today. And you could use a different length, it would just be bigger. So I use a full strip for the center and need the 15 millimeter hole. And you can use the holes on the back side of this, but for this thinner, I'm using a narrower width of strips. So I'm using this little cute template. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make some white coils. So the white closed coil, I made those with half a strip. So we will take our white strip, tear off the ends, and then fold it in half and tear it. And then I'm putting the smooth side towards myself. No, away from myself. Sorry. But it's hard to tell on some of these papers. Like this is a hard one to tell which side is smooth, which side's not. I figure, well, if you can't tell it, then I doubt that it's going to matter, right? So so these are actually going to be closed coils. So I'm just going to roll them up and glue them. And I did break that piece off because I want a nice little center. This feels like it's a lot bigger than the one I did there. I wonder if I wrote it down wrong. Would never do that, right? Yeah, I think that looks like it might be a fourth of a strip. Haha, wrote it down wrong, I guess. Okay. Well, if you did that one already, then you have one for another project. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's try a fourth of a strip this time. Hmm. No, my video seems to have paused for a minute. Sorry about that. Okay. So that looks more like it. And you don't have to set it out like this yet if you're using the back of this for your circles. But you can kind of put it somewhere and lay it out if you want to. Okay, so we're going to use a fourth of a strip for each of those. So we're going to need 5 of them. So tear it in half and then tear it in half again. So these are just tight coils. Oh, I lost that one. Okay. So there we have 3. Okay. So I think I'll pin that one anyway. And you can just glue them right onto your card if you want to skip this step, but I find it helpful to pin them all on there first and then transfer them over. But we're going to keep making coils because some of you are using the front of this, so you can't pin them yet, which is understandable. Okay, so I've got 5 of the little center ones, and those we're using 1/4 of an inch. My sun is coming over here and shining onto my project. It's actually from way up there. So I have an atrium right next to my studio, and there's windows way up there. So a little sunshine is okay, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to, let's see, next we'll do some more white. We'll do the white teardrops. And these are using 1/8 of a strip. So tear the end off, fold it in half, and then half again, and then half again. So we actually need 10 of these. I'm going to just make one. And I think I'm going to, so I'm actually going to put it in the 6mm hole. But what I need to do is let it out a little bit. So one thing that I want to tell you here, so if you make it so tight, if you tighten it and then break it off like that, it doesn't unroll so good. And I found that different papers unroll better than some other ones. So putting it in the 6mm slot, and I'm not even sure that there is one. Let me make sure there's one over here on this one. There's a 5. So if you don't have a 6, then use the 5. It's a 5mm here. And maybe I'll use the 5 too, because that's what it's coming out as anyway. And then we're just going to make little teardrops here. Now I'm wondering if I used a longer piece of paper. I did this design a while ago. So I'm wondering if I wrote it down right again. Let me just check here. Okay. What I'm wondering is if I should have used the 1/4 of a strip. That's too big. Well, I think I'm going to use 1/4 of a strip. It's a little bit bigger. So let's pivot. Okay, so I'm going to use 1/4 of a strip. I must have used a longer strip for that. So sorry about that. What kind of teacher am I anyway? No, didn't really write that one down very good when I did it. Okay, so we're going to use 1/4 of a strip. And I'm going to go ahead and break the end off like that and then use the 5 millimeter hole that comes unraveled like that. You can just wind it back up again. Oh, that's gonna be pretty. Okay. Put these back over here. Okay, so we got 5 of the teardrops, 5 of the white one. Now we need 10 of these. So you might have to grab more white strips in a minute here, but keep going these. So sometimes you can get some paper stuck. It does these they have little teeth in them. Sometimes they can get some paper can get stuck in there if you're breaking it off like I did. So let's see if we can get it out here. Okay, I think I'll be able to, oh, you know what? I think that is I think what had happened is this is where it was, yeah, it was where it was taped to the strip, the strips. Oh, that one unwound, so I'll wind it up again here. So we're just making our teardrops. Oops, I need to put this in my thing first. So we're making 10 of these with the fourth of a strip. And I'm putting them in the 5mm hole. Oh, I'm getting paper cuts from this white paper. I haven't had that happen before. A little bit I have, but not like that. That's not so good, is it? I wonder what these ladies do that, or men, or whoever is making these cards for these stores, mass producing them. I wonder if they get paper cuts. That would be not so good. A little tedious getting it down into that small hole. Okay. These ones I put in the wrong hole. Grabbed it at the wrong spot. Try again here. There we go. Try to always grab it so that I can pick it up and glue it easily. And if it's easier, you can take your tweezers like this, and then that can help you put it down into your hole. Okay. Two more. No, that didn't really work. 10. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to make some more red ones. So the red teardrops are half a strip. We'll tear off the ends. Try to put the smoother side away from myself. Oops, lost it. If that happens, you have to either unroll it and start over, or sometimes you can get your tool back in there. Okay, so this time I'm going to put it in the 10mm slot. Oops. Try again here. Good. So half a strip. And into the 10mm slot. Half a strip. I feel like I'm putting them into the wrong one. I did, didn't I? This is so confusing to me. So the numbers are here. I was putting them in this one instead of this one right here. Bummer. Oh well. You can use them for something else. There we go. That looks better. Definitely better. Okay. Beautiful. I'm doing 5 of these. Okay, next we're going to make some more red coils. So the coils are going to be let's see, I think they're going to be a half a strip, a fourth of a strip, I believe. This one I'm not going to let it unroll. We're just going to just keep it a tight coil. And we're going to need 10 of these. I'm putting the smooth side away from myself. So 1/4 of a strip. Get that little piece of paper out of there. And if you want to do these really fast, you can use, if you have a little battery operated one, these ones, I don't like to do the ones that you uncoil with the battery operated tool, but the ones that are just gonna be tight coils like this, you can, then I don't mind because they look good. It's just when you unroll them, if you let them unroll in like for teardrops or open coils, then I don't think they look as nice, but we'll show you how fast this is for this kind of coil. So fast. So I'll compare them with the other one to see. Yeah, it didn't coil quite as tight, did it? And then you have that little thing in the center, which you can take your little pointy tool and kind of make it round like that. So it's not too bad, I would say. It's sure a lot faster and easier on your hands if you have issues. Let's try again here. Whoops. Right, it came unrolled just a tiny bit. Okay, there's the one that I did by hand. These are the ones I did with the little tool. So I still like the one I rolled by hand better, but it's not too bad. It's not a huge difference, but it definitely is noticeable, I would say. 4, 6. 7. So I'm not going to use those 2 that I did with the battery operated one. Because they're just slightly different. Okay, 2, 10. Okay, we got all our pieces together. Now we will put them onto our board, or if you just want to glue them right onto your card, it's good too. But I'm going to put mine on this board and pin it down first. So I'm going to put the blue, one of the blue teardrops here. Actually, I'm going to pin it close to where it will be glued down there. Okay. And this is where you can use your tweezers too, and that helps. Okay, so this doesn't go there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. There's so many different ways that you can do this, and then you can, if you want, you can put some wax paper down, and then it won't stick to your board too. And I had some wax paper around here, but I'm just gonna not worry about it. But if you want to put a thing of wax paper over top of your board, and then your glue won't stick to your board. But I'm just going to be really careful. So you can either just glue these onto your card, or you can start gluing them here and then just transfer it over to your card like that. So I just glued those together. And then I'm going to just put a little dab of glue in here on this. One of these little closed coil white ones on either side of the blue. Okay. I think I need to get some more glue here. So if you're gluing it onto your card directly, what you can do is just take your pieces, turn them over like this, and then just glue that, just drops of glue all over it, and then you can put it down onto your card. So I'm just kind of putting them together just a tiny bit, just enough so that I can keep them together to transport them to my card, and I'll glue them on my card. Okay. Move my camera a little bit. Got a big mess here from all of my little pieces I've broken off. It's the thing about doing a live class. You get it just as it is. Just you get to take me as I am, I guess. Can't edit out the parts as I'm going. But that makes it more interesting, right? Okay. Okay, so that's looking good. Just a tiny bit of glue, just enough to hold it together, like I said. And that way you can kind of adjust it too a little bit. Okay. So there you have a star. I mean, you could even just do that much for a card if you wanted to. Okay, and then we're going to take our white ones, white little teardrops, and we'll just put a dab of glue on the end there. So we're putting the pointed side out, as you can see. Whoops, didn't have that one dry it good enough, I guess. Just trying to get this to glue here together. Whoops. Gotta have more patience here. Hold my pieces together till they dry more. And you can also do is just pin them, of course, which is what I should have been doing here. Okay. Oh, it's looking pretty, I think. Oops. Pins are definitely a good thing to have. Okay, so put those in there. Cute. Okay, so next we're going to put our little red teardrops down in each of these areas here. So we're going to put the pointed side in. Make sure they're nice and centered. Okay. And then we'll put our little red. Oops, I don't want to put these down quite yet. And you can make them a little bit wider by just kind of gently pushing on them. I think I want to have mine a little bit wider because my white ones ended up being just a little bit bigger than the ones I made here. So I want to fill in that space a little bit more. I'm just going to fatten them up a little bit. And actually, I think the best thing to do now is let's put this on our card and then we'll add the red ones after we have it on our card. So go ahead and take the pins out. And I'm actually going to put this on a bigger card than I did this one. Just for the fun of it. It's kind of an interesting card. It actually opens up like long ways, so I could put it either way, but I think I'll put it this way. And make sure that you have your star facing the way you want it on your card, of course. And then I'm going to grab it in the middle and on the side, and I'm going to just put little spots of glue kind of all over it. Okay. Get it centered the way I want it. And then if you have any glue that comes out or whatever, just take a brush, something, and kind of clean it up. Looks like I did pretty good. So now we'll take these little babies and I'm just going to glue the bottom now. Them in place. Tricky little things. Well, I think it's turning out pretty good. Dun, dun, dun. We did it. Yay. Well, there's your little mandala um, star, your 4th of July quilling project. So, hope you enjoyed it. And I would always love to have your feedback, of course. And if there's anything else you would like to create, let me know. I'll be doing more next week for the quilling and the dot painting, of course, too, the week after next. So happy 4th of July and love you guys. Hope everybody's doing great. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.